Hey there, I'm Marty Sakata, host of Resilient Alpha. You might know me from the Ivy Family Office Network, almost 3 decades of family offices and big shots collaborating on alternative investments, strategy, and good causes. That's the fuel for this podcast. Why Resilient Alpha? Simple. Why do some funds and managers crush it and others crash? We're cracking that code, redefining alpha, and bringing top brains to unpack asset classes and hot alpha ideas full throttle. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. Today, Elizabeth Cho Fertique will be our co-host. She's a scientist turned investor whose 30-year career spans the nuts and bolts of drug discovery to regulatory, clinical trials, and venture capital. Elizabeth is the founder and a managing partner at Meta Ventures, an early-stage healthcare VC. Meta Ventures has a one-of-a-kind funding vehicle that utilizes a trifecta of AI insurance and bond financing to provide outsized equity risk mitigation and downside protection for LPs and also the biotech companies they invest in. Her investment portfolios have enviable IRR and MOIC results. She collaborates with partners at the top of their games to scout and invest in the alpha of the best healthcare deals worldwide. Elizabeth is at the forefront of the industry, and she'll lead the discussion with our guest today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Resilient Alpha podcast. This is Elizabeth Cho Fertique, your host of the Healthcare Stream. Today, we'll be speaking to Mohammed Maimon, who is the CEO and co-founder of Chronica. This is a remote healthcare technology entity that connects providers to their patients to help focus on chronic care management, which really adds to the bulk of our healthcare spending in the US. Mohammed has over 2 decades of experience across healthcare, software, and venture creation, and he brings deep technical expertise and a strategic mindset to build scalable, user-centered solutions. He holds an MS in mechanical engineering from Clemson University and a master's degree in management from Harvard. Prior to Chronica, he led several ventures across a variety of sectors, from software development to utilities, healthcare, real estate, but all the while consistently bridging innovation with real-world impact. Here's more of my interview with Mohammed Maimon.
The content here is for informational purposes only, should not be taken as legal, business, tax, or investment advice, or be used to evaluate any investment or security, and is not directed at any investors or potential investors in any featured fund or deals on this video.
So, welcome back to another episode of Resilient Alpha, where we engage with some of the most innovative minds in business, medicine, finance, and a host of other sectors. Today, we're excited to be speaking with Mohammed Maimon of Chronica. And he is the CEO and co-founder of the company, which is a remote healthcare company based in San Diego. Chronica provides a complete turnkey solution to physician practices who want to branch out into remote care. Chronica provides a full stack SaaS platform, medical personnel, the actual home use medical devices, data collection, and very important back-end reimbursement services, all of which are vital to standing up a remote healthcare business. And for patients, on the other hand, especially those with chronic care needs such as diabetes, heart disease, asthma, and like, getting monitored more frequently, studies have shown, through the convenience of their homes can have a significant impact on their outcomes. And then you have the other stakeholders like the payers and the physicians. There's cost reduction, more revenue generation, and getting closer to real value-based care. Mohammed comes to Chronica with a deep executive and operational background pulled from a host of different sectors, including technology, cloud services, healthcare, utilities, manufacturing, and so much more. And these have collectively garnered him highly adaptive executive skills. So, welcome, Mohammed, to Resilient Alpha.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction and thanks for having me here, Elizabeth. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. We're excited to learn more about Chronica. So, to kick off, just tell us what got you into Chronica.
It was a personal experience. My father is a chronically ill patient, and I'd often see him struggle getting ready for his physician visit, spending several hours getting all his questions in place, getting ready. There was every time he had to review his charts, he would be looking for paperwork. He couldn't even schedule an appointment online. Uh, so that's part one. But the other one, because of his disease, he often struggled with keeping his blood pressure in line and sugar in line, and so there was just no way for us to manage his health. Um, Getting frustrated with all that, my brothers and I decided to go and buy some devices and see if we could monitor him ourselves. Uh, a precursor to this was he got admitted to the hospital a couple of times. And when we got there, we thought this was avoidable. And so when we got those devices and I started to monitor him, we realized something changed in him because he was checking his blood pressure and his sugar every day, multiple times a day. He started to pay a lot more attention. He became very responsible for his health. And as a result, he would be on top of it. He would eat better, he would walk more. And just the fact that he was answerable to me. I'm right there. He lives with us, or me, for the most part. And he just didn't want to disappoint me. So what happened as a result of it was his behavior changed and his health improved. And so we said, wow, this is big. Is this how it will be for other patients as well? So we started to research more. We talked to physicians. They all wanted this for all their patients. The problem was they were just stretched too thin.
Mhm.
They didn't have the technology. They didn't have the framework. There were no reimbursements at the time. So even if they did all of this, there was no money for them. So, but there were talks about this being offered. So we jumped right in and we said, if this works for my father, it will work for my mother and many others. Chronica was born.
Okay. Excellent. Great story.
Thank
I
you.
guess when you have information, it's power, right?
Yes, uh-huh.
And some people, hopefully many more, will be empowered to act. So that's really powerful.
55 million so far in the country that need this service.
Okay. We'll get into the market size in a
Yes.
second. Yeah. So remote health got a real boost during COVID, as we all know. What has the trend been since COVID restrictions have been lifted? In other words, is remote telehealth here to stay? And can you provide some idea of the inclination of providers and patients to remote care?
Yes, I'd love to. When we were first launching the company, I ran a survey among all my Silicon Valley friends and on the West Coast. I think I talked to 49 people. The question was, have you heard of telehealth, telemedicine, or remote patient care? And I think 2 or 3 of them had heard. The others had an idea, but most hadn't used it. Well, COVID came, everything skyrocketed. It's a household name now. But most people still think it's telemedicine, which means you get on a Zoom call or some app where you see your provider. That's going to stay here, but remote care is much bigger than that. It's all people like my father who are at home when they leave the practice. There's just nothing they have available. The physician doesn't know if their health is okay, if mental health is okay, or what's going on. There's this gap that needed to be bridged, which is what remote patient monitoring and chronic care management did. It's a household name now. Reimbursement is increasing. Uh, we find bipartisan support for this because it's preventive care, and so it's here to stay. We're going from 0 to 60 soon, but I'll give you some patient testimonies. So some of our patients, I'll use a few. They're saying things like, for the first time in my life, I'm seeing my doctor caring for me. This has never happened before. Uh, we come across patients who tell us, oh, we haven't talked to a single person in 6 weeks. I'm glad you put us on this program, and they'll talk with us forever. So there is a behavioral health problem, mental health problem, physical health problem, and this addresses a lot of that. So I think it's here to stay. It's going to become mainstream soon.
Okay, good to hear. So let me try to repeat what you just said for the audience. Telemedicine is when you actually see a physician by Zoom, whereas remote can be that, but they're actually taking data from devices, whether it's blood pressure or glucometer, and that data is fed to the doctor and
Yeah.
they can report back to the patient.
Yeah, if I can just take 30 seconds to explain. What we do is we are an extension of the practice.
Yes.
So we bring in our technology platform, we bring in cellular devices, we give them to the patients. Patients go home, they start to take their vitals. We get those readings. If there's anything wrong with them, we get alerted. Our clinicians will then escalate to the physician as needed or address questions and concerns that the patient may have. This brings in tremendous engagement with the patient.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are in a position on behalf of the physician to start monitor these patients and improve their health outcomes. So this in a nutshell is what Chronica does.
Okay.
And this is where now the providers have an insight into patients' health on a daily basis. The charting, the alerting, it gives them tremendous insight into what goes on a daily basis with the patient. So when they come into the practice 30, 60 days later, they know how the last 30 days went.
Mm-hmm.
If they've been compliant with what was given to them, if they've been taking their medications, and how their health has been for the most part.
Okay. So you mentioned that you're an extension of a physician's practice, right?
Yes.
Primarily primary care.
So our target clients are primary care physicians for the most part, and specialty practices like cardiology and others, liver
Okay.
centers.
For chronic care.
For
of
chronic
course.
care management, yes. So with both, we have seen extremely good compliance. Compliance is better with 65 and older, and who have chronic diseases but are also part of a specialty practice. So a person who has heart issues and is seeing a cardiologist will be more aware of his or her health and will be more amenable to working with the physician.
Okay. So you think that greater patient engagement leads to a tighter provider patient relationship and compliance? Do you think
Yes.
they all feed forward and feed back?
Yes. So before Chronica, these patients, when they got home, they were on their own.
Yeah.
Now there's this constant feedback loop where the patient is now taking care of their health, they're taking their vitals, they're engaging with our clinicians. They think it's the practices clinicians, but they are ours. They can't tell if it's a different company in the middle, but they think they're talking to the physician's assistant or a nurse. And this engagement changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
Our apps allow them to engage with clinicians. So we never thought that 65 and older would chat. But I guess their grandchildren have taught them
Yeah.
that this is how you chat, and they love sending messages. and getting responses promptly, which has never happened before.
Right.
So engagement, we provide engagement with video calling, audio calling, texting, in-app chatting, and almost every way you can think of. And this engagement improves compliance.
Yeah, I can
significantly.
imagine. Yeah, no, there have been studies, so that's great that you're contributing to that. You say again, going back, that you're an extension of their practices. Do you have medical personnel in between you, the patient, the provider, and you? Do you have personnel who actually facilitate?
Yes, so what we do is not only do we bring technology, but we also bring in our remote care team,
Okay.
and we hire people to sit in the physician practice as needed. So because of this connection, this rapport we build with the physician practice helps us work very closely with providers.
Okay.
And this connection then that gets built with patients. So they'll know our clinicians by their first name. Sarah, it's been a month. Where have you been? Right?
Mhm, mhm.
And AI empowers a lot of this, which we're going to talk about. But it's our clinicians that make a difference. Healthcare is always human touch first, technology next.
Yes. Yes.
And people who go the other way, I think they miss the mark.
Yeah, and that leads to my next question. You know, with the reimbursement codings having increased, through CMS, there must be a lot of competition in this area. So tell me how you stand out and touch back on what you just said. It's not technology first, as people think.
That's correct. So our landscape with competitors is some only provide technology.
Mhm.
I'll give you an example. You will snooze the button forever for a reminder, but if it's your caregiver, your family member, you will pick up the phone. It's almost this human tendency that you don't want to disappoint the person on the other side. You will do things that you otherwise wouldn't do just with technology. So what we have learned is technology alone doesn't work. So that brings us to our competitors that have similar services.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think we excel is on many fronts. We are very capital efficient in our operation, which allows for better services and also better partnerships with physicians because our costs are really low. Our devices are cellular. We don't want 65 plus people to be messing around with Bluetooth. So cellular device, you step on a scale, it's going to send data to the cloud. There's nothing else you have to do. So devices help tremendously. We use AI appropriately. And what that does is it's human touch first. Of course, like I said, there's clinicians who are always there. So clinicians at Chronica provide this human care or human touch, but on the back end, all the paperwork, audit trails, compliance requirements, they're all handled by our technology.
Okay.
So I always say this with our platform, we've built a Lamborghini compared to the competitors who are still trying to drive a Toyota Corolla. And so every place you touch, sniff, breathe, we record it. And so any compliance requirements in the future, we are good. Here's an important thing that changes everything is clinician happiness. Clinician happiness comes from better access to the system, user-friendly application. And when the call is done and the patient on the other side says, "Oh my God, this was so great," the fulfillment that a clinician has because the technology allowed for it. They realize, "Oh my God, for the first time, I'm actually doing what I was trained to do, which was provide care and not be buried in paperwork and all the requirements." So when you combine all these elements, our technology also allows for improving patient health outcomes on one hand, maximizing reimbursements, but also taking care of the clinicians that we have. And so our retention is off the charts. No patient, very few patients leave. Our clients don't go anywhere. Because of superior technology, this technology feeds into the physician's current office. So they can see trends in the office, they can see they improve a ton of other scores, which helps them improve reimbursements overall. And they're taking a lot of this data to go back and negotiate better with payers. And we enable all of that.
Yeah.
So I think overall, when you look at all facets of what we provide, we have a much superior system. I've not seen a single company that has gotten the secret sauce right.
Yeah. Yeah. What really drew me when our investor group invested in Chronica is that you had that soup to nuts.
Yes.
We had also been investigating many a remote health. We know how big the market is. It remains quite untapped still.
Still, yes.
So when we saw that you had this A to Z, we were very impressed. I'm glad you're still moving along. So let's talk about, let's tell people more about your business model. That was very attractive. How do you guys make money?
Okay, well, great question. So, like I said, we are an extension of a practice. So we'll go and pitch to a business, a practice. They don't have to change any of their current workflows. They don't have to invest a dime in the program. There's no check they are writing. There's no investment. There's no risk for them. We bring in clinicians, we bring in the platform, we bring in the back office work, we bring in billing support, we bring in technology, and we essentially invest the money in the program. It just tells them how confident we are that we're going to make this work. And so if you talk to a physician, if you don't add any extra work on them, change their workflows, and don't ask them to write a check, they get very excited. So an average physician for 1,000 patient practice can get an extra $350,000 or more.
Wow.
That's a very attractive value proposition.
Sure. For how many patients?
For about 1,000 patients.
Okay.
And all of that is there. They take the money. There's no other costs for them. So if we fail, they don't have to pay anything.
Right.
So how do they make money? How do we make money? Once we provide the service, there are with RPM, CCM, RTM, principal care management. All these have several codes in them. So when we fulfill the requirements, our billing support team will create reports and also file for the physician. When the money comes in, it goes to the physician's account, and then we have a fee arrangement where we then send them an invoice and we get money from the reimbursements they got.
Okay. So they don't necessarily dip further in to their own pocket.
No, they don't have to.
Yeah.
Not a dime is, they don't spend a dime on it.
Talk to us about your revenue share model. I mean, that's another carrot that you dangle.
Yes. And so when money comes in, we charge a fee, and that's where, so there is a significant portion that goes to the physician, and from our fees, we pay for our expenses, and then what's left is ours. So our net operating margin is close over 40% of this business.
Okay.
After paying all the expenses.
Okay.
And this is net, not gross.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Let's dive a little bit more into the nuts and bolts, because I just imagine it's not as smooth as having a tech around and just, billing. But let's say a patient's blood pressure cuff isn't working. How does Chronica help manage from a customer care point of view?
So if a patient has a problem with a device, because we are an extension of the practice, the first call on the app itself or on the device itself, these are our own devices. there's a number they call, which comes to our call center. We then address their needs right away. If the patient needs a new device as a replacement, we'll do it. If there's any setup steps they have to do, then we'll just click a button, get on a video call with them, and help them solve it. So we will do initial distribution of devices. We will get the patient's consent. If there's a problem, we send them a FedEx envelope. They put the device, or not the box. We get the device back. We'll send them a replacement. If need be, we'll also send them a technician who will replace the device and teach them how to use the device again, just in case if it's an upgrade in a device and so forth.
Okay. So it's really a one-stop shop.
It is a one-stop shop, and providers are never aware of what just happened. They don't have to worry about it. Testimonials, again, patients will come in and say, this device is great. I mean, I can't tell you how many times this has given me feedback on what I should be doing. With high blood pressure, then eventually the patient health outcomes improve if there's a feedback loop, and this provides that.
Okay. Well, thank you for going, further down there. Let's talk a little bit about personal health data. It's come back in the news with 23andMe having sold it to Regeneron, having bought it back into the nonprofit, potential lawsuits. Who owns the health data, and how do you manage potential, privacy rules?
So we take security very seriously. It's not someone else's data, it's our own data. That's how much we care for it. Someone has given us responsibility for it. So everything is secure end-to-end, military grade encryption, audit trails, and access to data. So if I were to go in and check something, I don't have access to it. I have to go through 2 layers of security, get the keys, and then I can get access to it. So we are not only HIPAA compliant, but we are high trust as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so almost every way you can think of, we have covered the access to that data. So we take care of this very we take this very seriously. No one outside the country has access to this data. And the other question you had was it just security that you asked for? Or?
It was about privacy rules.
Privacy,
I mean, so you own the data?
We own the data, yes.
Okay.
Because it's coming to our system.
Okay, and the patients will have waived rights to it?
So patients
right?
patients take that and yeah, they have given us access to that. So that
Okay.
data comes into our system.
Okay.
This data is shared with our providers. They can get access to this data anytime they want. In the form of accessing this from our system, we can transfer this to their electronic health record system. We can also take a dump of this data and provide to them at will, beginning of the program or end. So we cover all aspects of letting people access data, but it sits in our system.
Okay. They say data is now the real gold. What are your thoughts potentially of monetizing the data, if any?
Yeah, our focus right now, Elizabeth, is on making an impact and improving health outcomes.
Sure.
But we do know there is value in this data. And at some point, we're going to start to see how we can take data and see trends across populations, do some population health management. But it's going to come with buy-ins from people, opt-ins, contracts, full transparency, and mainly trust. So at some point we'll get to it, but at this point we're just focused on improving the outcomes.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Let's talk about your traction. First and foremost, who are your customers, and are they just U.S. based?
Mainly US based. We
Okay.
are in conversations with two major entities offshore in some other countries, but it's still in the works.
Okay.
Our main target clients are physician practices, like I said. They're all based here in the US. We tap mainly into Medicare and some Medicaid where it allows. We are seeing more private payers are now interested in offering remote care opportunities, and so that's where we focus.
Okay. All right. On traction per se, what is your ARR, trailing 12 months?
So we think we will for 2025, and I'll talk about trailing as well. We're going to close about 1.6 to 1.8 million for this year. Trailing 12 months is about a million or so.
Okay.
And growth looks good. That would be about 250 to 300% growth in this year. And we think we will match that every year for the next 3 to 4 years.
Okay. So in terms of trying to grow, you must be in fundraising mode. Tell us about that and your terms.
Yeah, so we are raising 2 million right now in seed, 7%, 20% discount rate, 11 million cap. So the terms are very attractive. And one other thing I want to highlight is for 2026, we are on target with all the clients we have signed up. We should hit 3 million in revenue if we don't sign any new clients.
Wow.
So
That's through an increase in patients?
We have a lot of patients signed up.
Right.
And the way the business works is when a patient signs up till the time we start to get reimbursed, there's a 90-day delay just because of reimbursement, the way, the nature of the business. And so with patients lined up, there's a slight limitation because of human involvement in first enrolling them. And all those patients are lined up. So we think we will hit 250,000 per month in revenue from January, which will hit 3 million next year, doing nothing else. But I'm out there selling right now. So the capital we are raising will help for enrolling these current patients we have and also grow our sales.
Okay.
In addition, buying devices and hiring clinicians. So we want to be ready for the next big deal we get, which is why we need access to money.
Okay, so 2 million raise, convertible note, 7%.
Yes.
Interest, did
interest,
you say?
7% interest.
Okay, what kind of a discount?
20%.
20%. Okay, there you go. So let's see. What are your goals in terms of customers you want to secure for the rest of the year and the next? I know you said if we maintain, we'll get to 3, but you do want to grow. How much more growth? How many more customers do you think?
I think for 2026, we will see a 3x increase in the number of clients we sign up.
Okay.
And we think we will get similar growth in 2027 and 28, maybe 9 as well. There's only 1% of the market taken. So out of the 60 million or so patients out there, I think less than 4, maybe 5 million are on any remote care system anywhere.
Okay.
So if you were to just walk into any practice or health system, chances are they don't have this.
Yeah.
And so it's going to grow. So getting a 3x, 4x growth is not out of question. It's a land grab right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whoever does it right is going to do well, and I think we are the one.
I'm going to hold you to that. Okay, so thank you very much for this part of the podcast. We'll be right back for the lightning round. Okay, welcome back. We're here with Mohammed Memon of Chronica, and we're going to kick it off next with a lightning round of questions. How long before remote care becomes part of standard of care in the U.S.?
I would say 10 years,
10 years?
15 at most.
Okay.
It's growing. With our clients, we are seeing them referring other patients to the practice. So the business at the practice is growing, but then this awareness is growing very fast. So people who had never heard of it before, even the seniors, are now asking, my friend Linda is on this care. Why are you not offering it, doctor?
Mm-hmm.
So it's becoming very, very common now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
10
10
years.
years. Okay. What is the best patient demographic for your service that you're seeing?
So with regards to reimbursement, we think Medicare is the best. They
Mm-hmm.
pay very well. In many states, Medicaid is now catching up and matching what Medicare is paying. So with Medicaid, it could be 65 and younger. And mostly 50 and older is where chronic diseases start to show up. So private insurers are also offering reimbursements now.
Okay. But is it more the elderly patients?
50 and older, but 65 and older for sure.
Okay. And they're good with all these apps, huh?
Like I said, the grandchildren have taught them how to chat. They know how to use the machines. And many of the 65-year-olds, they've been with technology for 20 years.
True. That's
So all the new entrants, they're very familiar.
true. Okay.
Yeah. So
It's not my parents' generation. Maybe just below.
but my father is 84, 85 years old, and he can do everything now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good
With
to
his
know.
with his shaking hand, he still
Haha.
chats as well.
I'm encouraged to hear that. Okay. What's the best provider, your physician demographic for your service?
So small physicians are the best. They are for us the lowest hanging fruit. They are kind of ignored. They're struggling
Size-wise?
size-wise.
Practice?
One to five providers per practice.
Okay.
A significant number of them are in California, and most of them are hurting for revenue right now.
Yeah.
And they are, if you ever sit in a physician's office, sometimes it's chaotic. They're running from patient to patient. And when this program shows up, it's a lifesaver for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, it must be quite a chore going from small practice to small practice to small practice. Let's think more macro level. How many more patients do you think you'll need to onboard new in order to grow to, double, triple ARR?
So we've done the math on that. We need a total of 45,000 patients that I can get directly from just small practices. But we are working with ACOs. We are working with physician groups now,
Okay.
and also in touch with payers to see if we could take a bigger population and just provide care directly. So all those options are on the table.
Okay. So you're going for more strategics, I would say channel partners.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. What's the next wave of home-based devices or diagnostics we can expect to see? Let's go past blood pressure and your
Yes.
scales.
So think passive monitoring, passive collection of data, continuous glucometers, glucose monitors. Think of devices that you put on your body, on the wrist, that checks your blood pressure, checks your oxygen, your heart rate. So with all that, there's less active monitoring, and data comes in easy with little to no effort. And this allows us more data will help us identify problems faster and better,
Mm-hmm.
and also improve reimbursement opportunities.
Okay. So when I think of that, I'm thinking like the glucose monitor, right? I think there are some sleep apps, right? They could just monitor your sleep passively.
Passively, yes.
Okay.
They're coming. They're not quite there yet,
Yeah.
but they're getting there.
Right.
I
Right.
think in the next 2 to 5 years, we'll have a lot of passive devices.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we wouldn't have to call someone and ask them to step on the scale
Right. Right.
or check their blood pressure. It's just going to come in. And anytime we see abnormal readings, then our clinicians can get in touch with the patient and see if everything is okay.
Okay. All right. So tangentially, we'll look out for those.
Yeah.
You think, will you be expanding into nursing homes, elder care facilities? Again, the question of scale.
We already are there.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have RCFEs, the residential care facilities,
Okay.
the 6 beds, the 8 beds. We have a large number of them on the platform.
Okay.
And we have been in nursing homes and actively working with others to see if we could bring them on. Reimbursement is a bit challenging with nursing homes, but it's possible.
Okay.
We launched with 2. It didn't quite work very well, but it may have been just the fact that they were not ready.
Okay.
But we partnered with the back-end technology company, Point Click Care, and integrated with them and 90 other electronic health record systems as well. So we are there.
Okay. All right. Good to hear. What do providers, that's physicians once again, think of AI agents? Are they going to replace potentially your medical personnel?
No, it's like I said, you can snooze the technology. This is human first. They want to hear the voice. They want to hear Sarah ask them, "How's your day going? You went to your daughter's wedding last week. How did that go?" Our AI, the way we have implemented it is we have brought in tremendous operational efficiencies and better engagement for patients. So patients definitely want human touch. Uh, Providers, they're not replacing providers. They're augmenting, I think they're augmenting judgment, not replacing it. AI is going to help on all fronts, improve efficiencies, but I don't think they're going to replace the human touch.
Okay. So agentic AIs, not quite. They're not.
Not in healthcare, I think. I think it's going to help
Okay.
with everything else. But when it comes to human touch, I don't think there's a replacement.
Right. Okay. Well, I think you just answered my next question, which is about patients and their view of AI agentic agents. We're seeing more and more of these. I'm seeing startups, but you don't think they're gonna quite hit it
Well, right
for
now,
patients?
yeah, for reimbursement, they're not allowing any technology to interact with the patient to get reimbursed.
Okay.
So that's not
Okay.
here yet.
Okay.
Will it get there at some point? We'll see. But if you ask my father if he's talking to a machine and not a human being, he'll outright tell you, "I'm not interested." So maybe this changes in 10 years. I don't know. But if it does change, we are there. We already have all the technology.
Yeah. Just need the reimbursements.
Yeah. So patients have to be ready to
Yeah.
replace the human being. Governance, reimbursement codes have to change.
Right.
But with regard to technology, we are there.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Reimbursements, always important.
Always important, yeah.
And the human touch. Psychologically, we're not there yet.
We are not there yet. Absolutely not. And I know a lot of companies are trying to do that, but
Yeah.
talk to my father and many others like him. I tried asking him. I did say, if there's a machine you're talking to, how would you feel? It's like, I would feel betrayed, is what he said.
Very good. So that's the state of play on agentic AI 2025. Mohammed, it was a real pleasure speaking to you. Thanks for
Thank you
joining
so
us
much
again.
for having me.
All right. Thank
Pleasure.
you.